Debbie is joining us today from Synergy Credit Union, and Debbie is a member service representative supervisor. Debbie, thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about fraud today, and the first question is, how does a financial institution protect its members from fraud?
So just to give you a little background, we are all trained in gathering information and asking questions. We are regulated by FinTrack, and every year it's mandatory that we all take an anti-money laundering course.
Okay.
So with that anti-money laundering course, it helps us gather information and learn different skills. With anti-money laundering, there's all different ways of tracking fraud. So it could also be suspicious activity, money laundering, and layering of transactions. So with this transactions, what the people are trying to do is they're either using illegal funds from criminal activity. So it's either drug trafficking, fraud, or trafficking money. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the money through legitimate sources back into the economy. So the way they usually do this is they're either buying bonds, stocks, or property. So quite often they are doing multiple transactions, and when they do these transactions, they try to not tell you where the source of the funds are coming from, the owner of the transaction. So they do quite a few different tricks. So with our skills, we ask questions to try and prevent any of this happening. Quite often we hear over the front line our staff is being intrusive by when we ask questions. When we're asking questions, we are gathering information, and we're only doing this to try and to help you and prevent you from being scammed by a potential scam.
Okay, so who would be susceptible then? Is there a certain kind of a type of person that might be susceptible, or is it pretty much anybody?
Everyone. So it's people who fall for things that are too good to be true, people who don't pay attention, and people that are also duped by people who they think they can trust.
Okay, and before we talk about some specific fraud attempts, what are some general rules that people can follow when it comes to frauds and scams?
Okay, so fraudsters are actually real people. They're walking around. You can come in contact with any time. So these people usually reach out to you either by phone, email, in person, even through the mail system. So every year, hundreds of Canadians' families are affected by fraud that can become financially devastating to them.
And how is it that you can recognize some of these scams? I know a lot of people talk about the buy and sell sites or where these happen. Are there any things that people can look for?
So knowledge is very powerful. It's to protect yourself, ask questions. If all in doubt, ask your financial institution and the RCMP. So when often there's some scams, if it's too good to be true, question it.
So that's basically the bottom line and kind of the general rule, I guess, with thing is question everything, and if it looks like it's a really, really good offer that normally you wouldn't get, it might be a good idea to call, as you said, the bank or the RCMP.
Correct.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Debbie, and we'll be back again to chat more about frauds and scams.